what do you buy? What do you do in the factory? Like, what do you make? Then who do you supply to? And why does it matter what you do?
In India, we sell to IOCL, BPCL, HPCL, GAIL, ONGC, and many other, all the government Navratna companies. Capacity, the tonnage capacity is approximately 22,000 tons, but this goes at approximately $5,000 to $10,000 per ton. So it's a very high value product. Post that it's different, but we were doing a lot of work for Bangladesh.
Okay.
And so yeah, wherever there is work, we are there. We are there present in Saudi. We are working with our peers. We are working with SWCC, SWA, NWC.
How does fluctuation oil prices affect your business?
We as a company, our EBITDA margins normally fluctuate between 9 to 11%.
Yes.
And so that is something that we are working on continuously improving, and that's why our Capex plans laid out for the future will help us at least reach to the 13-14%.
Man Industries, a 2,000 crore market cap company. So what they do is they create steel pipes, carbon steel pipes that goes into oil and gas, fertilizers, the dredging industry, transportation of water. And how this company started, it was founded by the first generation, the promoter's father. And in 1975, when they started the business, they were into aluminum extrusion. After that, towards 1991, 1992, they went into steel pipes, and now slowly 2001 passed, they went into further products, and 2024 they're going into higher margin value businesses, like from transitioning from, for example, carbon steel to stainless steel, which is a high value and more delicate pipes compared to the carbon steel. And that's been the journey. 2,000 crore market cap company. We have with us the second generation, the current, the person managing the business entirely. And thanks, Nikhil, for having us here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, Shriram.
Yes. Nikhil, quickly in 3 minutes, tell me, what do you buy? What do you do in the factory? Like, what do you make? And then who do you supply to? And why does it matter what you do?
So basically, our majority of our product, we make longitudinal pipes, which are long seam pipes, MS pipes, and we make spiral pipes. These are mainly, both of them are used for the oil and gas sector. So the energy sector, the best way to transform and to transport the energy is through these line pipes. So we are quite critical. At least we would like to believe that. And so basically our major raw material is coils. So we buy HRC and HR plate. So we buy from a lot of the countries worldwide, whether it be Europe, whether it be China, a lot of it from India locally as well.
Okay.
So this is the major raw material. With that, we also have certain amount of consumables, but principally the steel is the whole soul of the product.
Okay.
And so yeah, the majority of the product we are selling to our government agencies. In India, we sell to IOCL, BPCL, HPCL, GAIL, ONGC, and many other, all the government Navratna companies. And these are mainly used for the large trunk lines for line pipe and for transportation of oil and gas, and also for water. And internationally, we are working with the likes of ADNOC, Shell, Petronas, all the bigger customers and EPCs worldwide. And so basically, we get the details and RFQs from them for projects.
Okay.
We bid them, and then it's open bidding sometimes, and sometimes it's a closed bidding. And as we get the order, we get into the production and we supply the line pipes to them. So if you ask me just in a brief, my business, this is what we do.
Great.
And we help the energy transport around the world.
Got it.
And we have supplied, I think, more than 20,000 kilometers of line pipe till today.
20,000
Kilometers of line pipes, yes.
To put that into context, India currently has 10,000 kilometers of oil pipeline.
Correct.
And maybe around 23,000 of natural gas pipeline.
Correct.
So, but around the world, all your business combined from
91
to today, you have done 20,000.
More than 20,000 kilometers of line pipe.
Okay. Okay. That's
a
great.
lot. Yeah.
You said in the raw material part, I did not completely understand. You said HRC. So is it like different shapes and forms of steel that you're buying?
No, it's basically coil.
Okay.
It's a coil form, hot roll coil. So basically, this is mainly used for the ETSA process,
Okay.
the spiral process.
Okay.
So what happens? It's a continuous welding process, and majorly these ETSA is used for water, and also some places for oil and gas.
Okay.
And these are standard coils, different grades, E250, 350, and then you get into the API grades of API 42, 52, X70, up to X80 grade.
Okay.
So these are depending on the project and depending what kind of line it is, whether it is water, whether it is how much is the pressure, whether it is gas or whether it is oil. Depends if whether it is sour, severe sour, then you take more thickness also. And for more critical projects, like we have certain projects which go into severe regions where the crude is very severe, the gas is very sour. So there is a lot of rusting. And these line pipes are supposed to last for 25 to 30 years.
Yes.
So over there, the customers use LSAW, which is a longitudinal pipe. So it is made from the plate. You bend it and there is a single seam. And on the basis of that, there is less chances and more critical usage. So LSAW is mostly used for all these severe sour regions and mostly for transportation for oil and gas, not so much at all for water.
Understood. Understood. So basically, in your business, you buy steel, and then you convert that into, you put it through the roller, and it becomes in a round shape, but it's not attached completely. Like the two ends do not meet yet, and it is welded together.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
And then you supply that coils, like the hollow pipes, to these customers of yours, and they use it for oil and gas transportation throughout the country or country to country.
So to sum it easy, get the steel, roll it into a pipe. We also do the coatings for the pipe.
Yes.
It's not just the bare pipe. A lot of the places, because the coating protects basically a lot of, like I said, a lot of places there's corrosion, and these line pipes are supposed to last for at least 30 years.
Yes.
So most of the customers, whether it's oil or gas, to avoid corrosion, they have anti-corrosion coatings.
Understood.
So on the exterior, because this is going underground, and from the interior because of the material that flows through it.
Understood.
Even for water, there is L3 LP coating and PU coatings, because these are used for water transport, and then it has to be hygienic because the water, it cannot pick up any sort of material and everything, impurities. So that's why it's also used for all the water transportation also. So that's an additional facility we have that we supply with the bare pipes.
Understood. So then next you are going into, like you said, corrosion. Some delicate industries, let's say chemicals, food and beverages. I'm sure you do not currently supply to it because it has to be extremely corrosion resistant and cannot have even a bit of impurity that intervenes into this liquid flow or gas flow. So for that, you require more complex level of steel, and high value, like stainless steel. So you're going into that segment too?
Yeah. So that's the plant we are putting up right now. It's ongoing in Jammu and Kathua. It should be operational by October 2025. So basically, stainless steel is obviously their pipes.
Yeah.
But then it's a different breed of pipes altogether. Like you rightly put it up, these pipes are majorly used for your industry, food industry, processing industry. Then you have your aviations, you have nuclear, shipping. and a lot of the industries use it. And we are going into, there are multiple segments again in SSOK. So you have your welded as well, and this is extrusion. So we are going in the extrusion process. So basically, these pipes are more high value, more value added niche product,
Yeah.
Slightly more complex as well.
Okay.
But we wanted to get into the niche segment. The tonnage capacity is approximately 22,000 tons, but this goes at approximately $5,000 to $10,000 per ton. So it's a very high value product, and like I said, it's got very less room for error. The margins have very tight in the sense of the quality, and as it's being an extrusion process, it always helps because it's a single piece of extrusion. So your the YS, the TS, all the grades which are required to achieve for this, you can only do through the extrusion process. The usage, like we discussed, is quite wide, and but it's a value-added product. A lot of the nuclear work which is happening in India, they require a lot of it, and worldwide also, wherever there is a lot of special treatment plants, chemical treatment plants, heat treatment plants, automotive heat treatment things, shipping industry, nuclear, everywhere you need these pipes.
Got it.
So they start at a smaller diameter. So they have two kind of dimensions. The tubing size starts from, I think, 6 mm, goes to approximately 33 mm OD, and from 33 it goes to almost 500 OD on the higher side for piping.
Okay.
So that's the principal use of the extrusion pipes.
Okay.
And there is also welded pipes which you use for, you might be seeing at the airports, the SS railings and everything. Those are mainly welded pipes. So it comes from again, the process is the coil sheet, the SS coil sheet, and then the process is the same. It welds it, it polishes, so you can't see the seam as such.
Okay, got it. So the stainless steel,
Yeah.
the difference is basically the level of chromium in it. Like the normal steel pipes that you're producing now has
Yeah.
a high level of carbon, and this one has chromium, which
Correct.
is corrosion resistant, which gives you that value addition, able
Correct.
to sell to specific industries for niche purposes. Okay, and then when I compare your company to peers, I'm not holding you for it, but like I'm mentioning it, like Jindal, SAW, and you've got Welspun Corp. Those are great players in this industry.
Yeah.
Your margins are slightly lower compared to them. Like they're getting like 15% to 19.5% margins. Your margins are somewhere around 8 to 9% EBITDA level.
Yeah.
So what is the reason for the difference? Is it the product mix? Is it got to do with anything else?
So the last 10 years, Jindal and Welspun have grown multifold, and we have to give it to them. They've really expanded well. Their margins are obviously higher. I think Welspun is at between 14 to 15% EBITDA, and Jindal is at 16 to 18% EBITDA. But the major reason is that their product mix is, like if I put it in perspective, Jindal does ductile, they do SS slight amount, they do seamless, MS like we do. They have a good quantity for pellets. They manufacture pellets as well for the steel industry. So they are I would say they have multi products.
Understood.
And a lot of the other products are, probably last 3 years, if you principally see, even for Jindal and Welspun, all the last 2 to 3 years have been doing well, because I think across all the products, all the products are doing well.
Yeah.
I think same for Welspun. Welspun is getting much better EBITDA, higher than us, is because they have a factory in the US, which gets consolidated in India. They have a partnership in Saudi, which is doing extremely well. And then again, they are also multi-producted in India as well. They have bought over multiple companies, infra, plus pipe also. They are in ductile. They are also in MS. They are also in now UPVC, CPVC, and Syntex as well now. So I think they are expanding well, and the margins also show that. We as a company, our EBITDA margins normally fluctuate between 9 to 11%.
Yes.
And so that is something that we are working on continuously improving, and that's why our Capex plans laid out for the future will help us at least reach to the 13-14%.
Okay.
And in competition, yes, we have only one product. We
Yeah.
are only at MS pipes yet.
Okay.
And by stainless steel expansion, we would be definitely pouring into that market, which currently I think the Ratnamani is the leader for that particular product.
Okay.
And we would be in direct, obviously, competition with them. And also now that our expansion plans are including Saudi, because we see Saudi as a very important place to be. And we are already, our work is going on in Saudi, and we should be again operational by October end in Saudi as well.
Okay.
And I think that delta will, even the top line as well as the bottom line and the EBITDA margins would definitely kick up in the next year or two between, 13 to 14% is what we expect.
Understood. Before I come into the Capex plan, like you're putting around 600 crores in Saudi and then another 500, 400 crores in Jammu and Kashmir for different units. Before I come to that, let's say oil prices are like $30 a barrel, $20 a barrel. It has happened before.
Yeah.
And because of that, I presume that number of new basins that's coming where oil is being extracted, the amount of fracking that's happening would reduce throughout the country. Like 85% of your revenues are dependent on the export market.
Correct.
Let's say the US or Canada or whatever. That would involve less number of pipelines being laid. So I just want to understand from you, how does fluctuation in oil prices affect your business? For example, oil is in 20, one day oil is at $200. How does this fluctuation affect your business?
So to be honest, from finding a well to dredging a well to actually supplying the line pipe is, I think, 3 to 5 years process.
Okay.
Yes, oil prices fluctuating too much would be definitely bothering, I think, the world. I don't think it would only bother us, but would bother the whole world. But see, one-off $20, $30, which happened during COVID times, was a world in trouble. So it happened. A dollar constant around 50, 60, 70, the crude constant around 50, 60, $70 does not really hamper us.
Okay.
Because see, end of the day, these companies who are doing the projects have already got the financial closure for it.
Okay.
And post the financial closure, they start doing the well, and they've awarded all the orders for the dredging, for putting the platforms and putting the pipes for the exploration. So that process is already done. Then the only bit is that the line pipe has to be laid and the oil or the gas is to be transported onshore or offshore, whatever may be the case. So it's doesn't really affect us, but because it affects the world, it affects everyone. So it doesn't have a direct, like if tomorrow crude goes down and all the projects would shut, it's not like that. The process would take a large time, like 2 to 3 years, that someone was planning a Capex. That Capex gets delayed because he feels now that my return of investment gets late because I would be planning at a $70 crude. I would get an X return on investment on this particular basin versus they would probably, not do the Capex or an expansion Capex like a lot of them do. They won't do the expansion Capex thinking that it's not worthwhile because the crude is not at the right price.
Right.
So it's a tricky situation, but luckily we are at the end bit of it.
Yeah.
So most of the cases, if the order is already gone out, financial funding is there, then it gets laid, the lines come, and we don't face as such any problems. In fact, post-COVID, when it was $20, $30, I think last 3 years, we've not seen this kind of business in the last 10 years, how much we're seeing in the last 3 years.
Okay.
And coming forward, very important is that we are only talking about crude here for oil. Gas is the new generation. The crude is going to taper off and gas is going to take over because number one, it's clean energy. It's the most important energy now that everyone's looking forward to, and everyone's working on hydrogen.
Right.
So Europe by 2030 to 2040 will be 100% on hydrogen hybrid lines, 100%. So we've got plans that, which show what are the lines going, and there is a large amount of business which is, coming up in Europe, and they are the leaders for the hydrogen lines. They've already started some hybrid lines and they're already laying some hybrid lines. So their plan is definitely to convert everything to gas and to hydrogen gas so that they are clean energy and they have their requirements by the government to get into the clean energy, you know, otherwise the government is forcing them to close down.
Okay.
So for them, it's a must. And we know a lot of projects which are already happening, and it's going very strong. So initially, you know, we used to feel, yes, oil, gas, and water is our segments. Now, because of hydrogen, this is another segment for us. We don't need any new equipments, nothing. We've already done the testing, we already qualified, and we have done a short supply for hydrogen pipes as a testing also, and which was successful. So it's just a matter of time, you know, different countries which have laid out the capex, the business will come.
Understood.
So even if crude tapers down a little bit, it doesn't really affect us as such,
Okay.
you know, too much.
Okay. So you're saying that crude, like people who are doing the projects in Capex, they do not make the decisions or procurement based on what's happening on today's price. It's like they look at the long term and then they do the
Correct.
financial closures, gather the funds, and then give you the orders, right?
Correct.
First. And secondly, that was going to be my next question, what you just mentioned. Like, what about the new gases that's coming? Like, India is more focused on CNG because it's more naturally occurring. We have plenty of naturally occurring gases
Yeah.
that can be used. And secondly, hydrogen, like as a substitute to petroleum, will
Yeah.
that hurt you? But you're clearly saying that we've got the pipes that can transport these hydrogen. So whichever country is transitioning from a crude dependent, fossil fuel dependent country
Correct.
to going to like more sustainable,
Yeah.
low carbon emitting, we would benefit
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah.
Okay. And this, if you're doing, let's say, hydrocarbons, hydrogen, would this hydrogen and hydrocarbon is not the same thing, right?
No,
sorry.
hydrocarbon is not the same thing.
Okay.
Hydrogen is different.
Sorry.
But we see there is a big transition happening around the world.
Yeah.
It's just different countries have different capex layout, and different capex layout means different timeline to achieve it.
Okay.
India is still in the mode of expansion of steel, and you know, putting more blast furnace and everything, versus Europe has been through that and transforming their blast furnace to electric arc furnaces.
Right.
And those electric arc furnaces are powered by hydrogen gases. So in turn, your coking coal consumption goes down, and basically all your emissions are going down to almost probably less than 70%.
Got it.
And Europe has a condition laid down, and the government is supporting the same. And it's just like I said, every country would have their capex layout planned to do this. I think India is planning around 2050 to be, you know, more carbon, you know, reduction on the carbon CO2 levels. Europe is much ahead, you know, 2030, 2035. So I think for us, it's a transition which is already happening.
Okay.
Like I said, we have already been qualified. We have supplied a short hydrogen order as well. And we know Eastern Europe is also, some orders are going on in Eastern Europe and people are supplying. So I feel that the demand of crude will taper, but very slowly. And this would pick up over the years, and balances us out, you know, so it doesn't really hurt us in any way.
Okay. This hydrogen can be transported using the pipes that you're currently manufacturing, or you need stainless steel pipes?
No, it's the same pipes.
Same pipes.
Because see, again, hydrogen, you're talking about sending it to each and every factory.
Yeah.
First, you need to make the hydrogen. Then you need to transport it in a long distances. And then they will use it, consume it.
Okay.
So again, these are all trunk lines.
Okay.
So, and the previous lines cannot use it because they were not designed accordingly. So all the lines will be laid new. So like I said, Europe, the new lines which they are laying, they are hybrid lines which are hydrogen enabled. So they designed it, they're using different gases now in them, but they are designing in them such a way that tomorrow when they want to flow of hydrogen in them, they can do that.
Got it.
India, on the other hand, we are obviously already looking at hydrogen. We have a lot of MOUs, L&T, I think Welspun also partly. I think there is multiple companies who are working on it and signed the MOUs with the government. We are just a little further behind. That's about it. It's just a matter of time. I think this transition will start, you know, happening in a much faster pace. You will see in the next 5 years, and then it would go on for the next 15, 20 years because every single line needs to be laid new.
Okay. Okay.
So whether it be small lines which will be used for inside the factories, or transportation of the hydrogen, which has to be through, line pipes,
Yeah.
large diameter pipes. So I
Okay.
think both of the industries would do well.
Great, great. So about your capex that you're doing, what is the like? I see a lot of subsidiaries. You've got one in Dubai, DMCC,
Yeah.
then you have got one in the US, which I don't think is really operational
Yeah,
assets, just
yeah, it's
marketing offices.
Yeah.
Then you've got one in Saudi. You're creating a
Yeah.
company over there, doing some good capex. So can you quickly tell us about the capexes that you're doing, and what are you investing into? What type of pipes each?
So basically, like I said, first, number one, Jammu is going on, which is for stainless steel.
Okay.
That's approximately capacity of 22 to 24,000 tons.
Yes.
That would be manufacturing stainless steel seamless pipes, and the project cost is around 550 odd crores for
Okay.
that. Operational timeline, like I said, October 2025. Saudi, we have a larger plan. We have a spiral and LSAW, both the mills will be putting up there. And that capex is around 650 crores.
Okay.
The first phase of the capex already started with the spiral and the coating mill, and that should be operational by October 2025.
Okay.
And then LSAW will further shift, another 150 crores would be the capex there. And Dubai is basically a small investment just for our coating facility, because you need to be now locally present there to get the other orders.
Okay.
So we've been doing a lot of business in Middle East since the last 25 years. This company is there for almost 30 years.
Okay.
But now we feel the need that there is a need for a little bit further enhanced production to get the benefit of the in-country value in Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
Got it.
So that is something which is a strategic call more than just a business call. It's a very strategic call for us. And the US, yes, it is a marketing office. Good thing the company is there. With Trump coming into the picture and he's pro-energy, I think it's going to be good 4 years in the US. We don't know yet whether we want to be there, but it's something which we are keeping, we're observing. We definitely have a mind that we wanted to be there. We did want to invest there previously also, but then we were so busy managing our stuff here and expanding here, so we didn't take a call. But it's in top of our mind. I think US is something which we are looking at. I don't know when, but but it is somewhere we are, because we think there's a great business, great business prospect in the US.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, that's the current capex plans,
Okay.
which is laid out for the next year and a half.
Nikhil, you said you're investing 600 crores in Saudi and then 550 crores in Jammu and Kashmir, and operational by September, October 2025. 2025.
Yeah.
But if I look at your balance sheet in Q2, the capital work in progress is like 30 crores, which is not a large improvement compared to what the capital work in progress of 31st March 2024, sorry. So why, if it's supposed to start in 2025, why is there no large capital work in progress yet?
So all the capital work in progress is coming this year, as in 25-26, is because number one, the Jammu project was 6 months delayed, and so was the Saudi.
Okay.
Saudi, we had some other propositions which we were looking at before, and then it did not work out. So that's the reason we got delayed in 6 months in both the projects. Also, when we open the LCs for the equipments and everything, till the time it's shipped out, it doesn't get into the capex drawn out limit.
Okay.
So we have commitments of more than 400 crores already done for the machinery, but once it gets shipped out and then the capex, and then once we get into operation, is when the COD will happen and it will show in the debt. So currently the capex, majority of the capex which is happening is in 25-26.
COD meaning?
Completion of the project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we would see by the end of closing of 2020, this financial year,
yes. 25-26.
25-26, there'll be a good capital work in progress, which will get materialized and converted to plant property and equipment by the end of this calendar year, by the end of 2026.
2026, yes.
Got it. And like debt, what is your gameplay there?
So everything is, we've already got our debt in place with our banks for both the projects. We already are cash plus company, plus we are looking to raise certain funds because for Saudi we don't want to, because what's happening is we are growing here as well.
Yeah.
We would be growing next year at least with the current order books, and plus the bid book which we have in hand, which we feel obviously we are quite aggressive in some of them and we should get some more projects. We are looking at a growth of almost 25 to 30% for this 25-26.
Okay.
In that case, what happens? Our working capitals need expansion, our CC limits need expansion. We need more cash in hand, for the current business. So not to strain the current business, we would be doing a short amount of pref, in which the promoters also we would be investing. We already released, I think, recently that we would be raising approximately 300 crores. So that would just ease out the cash in the system, and like I said, the banking facility is already there for both the projects. So we don't feel any strain on the cash flow at all.
Okay.
So I think we are well placed for the current Capex. And once the whole idea is to get them rolling, and once the business is on, and then we can look forward to how to take the next 3 years ahead.
Got it. Now you said, I got two things from what you just said. One is order book, and one is the current fundraise, and I even want to talk about the promoter hold. Current order book.
So current order book is, I think, 3,000, north of 3,000 crores.
Okay.
Bid book is approximately more than 10,000 crores currently. That's the bid book.
Okay.
I can't say.
No, please don't.
I cannot say whether I'm L1 or not.
Okay.
That obviously it's I can't.
Yeah. Then tell me, let's say talk about bidding then. In bidding, you bid a lot for international projects.
Correct.
Local projects.
Yeah.
So how is the bidding process? What makes someone decide? Because some places technical score is there. Then you've got like infrastructure, for example. We spoke to a company in infrastructure, consultancy. So you see that to choose a consultant, it's like 70% is the technical score, another 30% will be the financial score. So in this segment, to give you the project, what do they look at? What is the bidding process? Can you
domestically?
Let's talk about domestic
price.
Price.
That's it. Price.
Okay.
Just give the pipes for free, no problem. You will get the order.
Okay.
But yeah, jokes aside, it's in India, it's price.
Okay.
It's a very tough market, very competitive market.
Yeah.
We have too many players. Except for the niche segment, like LSAW is a much nicer segment.
Okay.
ERW is a much cleaner segment, and City Gas doing very well. The business is better, but quite straightforward. Not too complex payment terms, because all Navratna companies that we are working for and everything. So there's quite straightforward, and we don't find too many complex situations when we work in India. But like I said, everything is about price in India.
Yeah.
You cannot bid if you're not technically qualified, by the way, in oil and gas.
Understood.
So we don't get that opportunity only because it's such a niche segment to be part of, that if you're not technically qualified, you cannot put a bid. So you have to be technically qualified to get qualified to even put the commercial bid.
Understood.
So that's where, like I said, the major thing is the price in India. Internationally, there are multiple factors which matter. Like you said, technical points you get, price points you get. Depends on your past track record. What is your relationship with the customer? If it's an EPC, you can get easily repeated business because you have done business with them. And sometimes you get, very rarely you get the opportunity to match the price. Like, you get the right of refusal.
Okay.
But that's only when you have worked with a particular EPC many years and they have that kind of confidence in you, is when they tell you, okay, this is the L1, you want to match it and take it, then I can give you the opportunity.
Okay.
But majority of the bids are closed bids, electronic closed bids or physical closed bids. And they have their point system, ranking system. But 70% of the business is still on price.
Okay.
So you have to be price aggressive to get the business.
Understood.
Yeah.
Then, what are the clients that you work with in international? You said Petronas.
We work with Petronas, we work with ADNOC, we work with multiple Nigeria government we work with. Then Taiwan CPC, we are doing a large order with them, the largest offshore order we're doing with them. So single order 1,900 crores. So multiple agencies, Malaysia also we've done some work. So it's Bangladesh we were in the sense, recently post that it's different, but we were doing a lot of work for Bangladesh.
Okay.
And so yeah, wherever there is work, we are there. We are there present in Saudi. We are working with our peers. We are working with SWCC, SWA, NWC, the Saudi Water Department as well. And now we are getting a strategic tie-up with Aramco because we're already putting a plant there. So,
Sorry, what does strategic initiative mean? Are they going to put in stake or no?
no, not
Okay.
they're not stake, but they have a commitment to give you the order because you're a local mill.
Okay.
So whatever orders come, they give you the benefit because you are locally there, and you get a certain quantity of the orders because you have invested in their country.
Understood.
So
Understood.
that benefit you get.
Great.
And so whether it be Bahrain, whether it be KOC Kuwait, whether it be PDO Oman or OQ Oman Gas, we work with all of them. We are qualified with most of them. Petrobras, Brazil. So pretty much
All the
covered.
international
Yeah,
large
we supplied a large,
organizations.
I said, kilometers of line pipe around the world. So pretty much covered the world multiple times. America also we used to work. But since the duties and everything, it's not possible for the pipes to go there.
Okay.
But other than that, there are different locations. North of Africa, we're doing a lot of work over there.
Okay.
So multiple countries, different countries come at different times, and different projects coming. So we keep focusing around the world and keep bidding most of the places wherever we can. And wherever we are not qualified, we keep pushing for the qualification so that they come, they qualify us, and then we can increase our bid book.
Okay.
So it's an ongoing activity we've seen over the last. It's never a dull day. So it's always busy. We are always running behind orders. Coming to the last question was consumption capacity, which is 1.1 million approximately tons. That's a theoretical capacity. The practical capacity is around 600,000 tons of the mill, 600 to 700,000 tons, not more than that.
Okay. Meaning that's something you can produce at peak utilization.
No, that's the machine's capacity limit.
Got it.
But that's like you say that's capacity is always 70% only you can achieve, and out of that 70% we are at suppose 50%.
Okay.
So it's derived like that. So we are at suppose 300 to 400,000 tons a year.
Okay.
But if you talk about top line, we could achieve even 5,500-6,000 crores from the existing capacity.
Okay.
Depends steel prices because 75% of our raw material is steel. So if the steel prices are high, even at a low tonnage, we get a more top line. And when the steel prices are low, you have to do more tonnage to get the top line. So it's variable, but if I have to do in 25, 26, if I consume 80% of the capacity of utilize 600,000 tons, suppose we do 500,000 tons, we could do around 5,500 crores top line from the Anjar and Pithampur unit put together.
Got it. And when it comes to margins, let's say steel prices increase, you're able to pass it on to the customer with what, 3-month time lag?
No, we don't have that kind of business. So what happens is it's a project business. The prices are fixed when you get the tender for a year or 6 months, whatever is the delivery time. Our steel prices are also booked.
Okay.
So we have a back-to-back. No. We have a back-to-back understanding with our steel mills.
Okay.
So suppose we did a project in Taiwan and we bought the steel from Japan. So what we did is Japan booked the steel for 16 months at a fixed price.
Okay.
Starting delivery 4 months from the order given them, and delivery for 10 to 12 months post that. So every month there is a ship coming. We get the ship, we manufacture, we ship it out to the customer. So we have a fixed price with the customer, and our fixed price, our steel price is also fixed. So we don't have any fluctuations as such in the steel because we don't have an open-ended policy. We always book it back to back.
Got it. So when you get the order, you have an understanding with the supplier.
Correct.
Who to produce and sell you the steel at a constant price.
Correct.
Like a forward market arrangement.
Correct.
Right.
So they might be doing some forward market arrangement that we don't do it. We are hedged and we are secured.
Got it.
So it doesn't hurt our EBITDAs and it doesn't hurt our bottom line and top line.
Okay.
We are pretty much secured, and that's the policy of the company.
Okay.
That we don't want any variations. We don't like keeping it open and thinking if $100 falls down, we'll make 30% margin, and if it goes up, so we don't. We rather have a focused concept on getting more business than playing it open end. There are enough businesses you can play. It's better that we are focused in what we are doing and keep our margins fixed.
Excellent. Now coming to the last part of this, promoter holding
Yeah.
has been reducing. Let's
Yeah.
say it's around 50%. Now, if
Yeah.
you're doing a pref
Yeah.
and let's say promoters take warrants,
Yeah.
but obviously not for 75% or 50% of the pref,
Yeah.
your promoter
Yeah.
holding further reduces.
Yeah.
And to be very straightforward with you, the average promoter holding of the companies we have interviewed would be around 60 to 65%. So your company would be in the lower leg. So why is that? Do you plan to further reduce the promoter holding? Do you plan to increase it? What is your thought process?
So if you want the literal truth behind it, we should have been at 72. We had a family settlement,
Okay.
and my uncle's 22% share was supposed to get transferred to my father, and we did a demerger of the company and gave it to him.
Okay.
He sold off all the equity in the market. So 22% equity, he sold it in the market.
Okay.
So my father did not get anything, he got zero. And unfortunately, this went on for many years almost. So when I came into the business in 2021 and said, okay, we haven't grown because the brothers were at it with each other. And though they've separated, but still, so I said, I will join, but we will grow is the only condition that, I want to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the time my father decided, okay, forget it, just write it off, you move on, and we grow in the business and focus on the business. I think that's the better thing to do. And since then, you might have seen 20, 21, 22,
Yeah.
the company's thought process as well as the balance sheet. And plus, going forward years, we're going to look at a big change in the company overall. It's unfortunate. We would have been at 72%, which would have been ideal for me. But it is what it is.
Okay.
The reason for dilution is nothing personal. Obviously, it's the growth for the company which I'm looking at. I don't want at any point of time to be, putting the main company in any cash flow because this is my cash cow today.
Yeah.
And I cannot put it in any sort of trouble. So we are very clear that's the reason why we are raising. And once those companies stabilize and the cash flow churns out, we can always buy it back. Yes, we would be reducing. I would not be buying 50% of the pref. We would be doing around 50 to 75 crores of warrants out of the 300 crores.
Okay.
We would be net at a 45% even after the warrant conversion.
Okay.
But we are okay with it. I don't think your company's growth has or promoters' skin in the game has anything got to do with 75% or 60% or 50%.
That is true. That is true.
I think if we are committed and our numbers show and we are focused on our growth of the company and multiple things, it's not only the growth because we are doing Capex. We are trying to improve multiple things in the company to improve the bottom line, the leakages, by using solar and wind power to get our operation costs down so that next 3 years we increase the bottom line by 1%. So we are doing all those Capex, we are aware, we are automating a lot so that, our fixed cost of labors come down.
Okay.
Because once we automate it, we get less labors. Those are expenses which goes down. Obviously, it's a Capex. It gives you a return over 3 to 4 years. But looking forward, I think things are going to get more expensive in India. So if I don't do this now, then 5 years down the line, I would be anyways more expensive than my competitors. So we've already started doing this. And this all should add up in what we are planning to do in the next 3 to 5 years. And like I said, it doesn't bother me. I get okay sleep at 45%.
I really appreciate you being very honest about it and
Yeah.
talking about the separation and things. And see, this promoter holding is a very old assumption of people that promoter needs skin in the game. Like if you see Federal Bank has 0% promoter holding, L&T, it's a major Indian MNC conglomerate, has 0% promoter holding.
Correct.
So
Everyone
it's
owns the
just-
company.
Yeah.
And we would be doing, hopefully sooner or later in the next couple of years, we would be the top 5 people in the company or 7 people in the company. We would be looking at giving some equity to motivate them and everything.
Okay.
That's a part of the plan.
Yeah.
So it's not me alone.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. I don't have a thought process that my son will come. Why should he? He's not been given that spoon to come, or whether he wants to. I think there have to be promoters from the company who should come up and drive the company forward. And a lot of the conglomerates, whether you talk about Tata's or you talk about L&T as a matter of fact and everything, they're working fine. They're doing fantastic. I think so many companies in the world are doing well, and promoter stakes are limited. Even a lot of them, even the promoter stakes are high, but promoter is not even in the management. So I think it's the mindset of how you run your business. And plus, honestly, when you're listed, I think you're more focused on compliances and running your company as best as possible. I don't think most of the promoters who are doing this is focused that my equity is 72% or 70 or 50 or whatever. I think they're focused on growth. And I think that's where most of the promoters should be focused on. I think your 45% can be much more value than 70%, if you're focused on your growth.
And to put another perspective into it, we've seen 75% is the promoter holding, but he'll have an unlisted entity where he's holding 100%. And between the listed entity and the unlisted entity, he does a lot of hanky-panky transactions, which profiteers the unlisted company because he has 100% there, and 25% here is the public holders. So, anyways, I'm just putting it out there. Nothing.
We are really not focused on any of that. We're just focused on running this company well and growing, and at least whatever we have in hand, the task in hand, we want to complete it, and we want to get our companies operational. So this is a very big stepping stone time for our company.
Okay.
And hopefully this 25-26 will be a great year because already we've got good orders in hand with good margins. So we're looking positive. We're looking forward to new things happening.
Awesome. I think I've asked all the questions I wanted.
Thank you so much.
Might have missed out on a few, but great conversation, Nikhil. It was great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.